Hello viewers, Adventure Link here. As always, how are you? Good day, good evening. Hope your day or evening or whatever time you're viewing my video is going well for you. Personally, right now I'm doing pretty good. Anyways, if you all remember my video from last week, I did a initial impressions video review on the Google Nexus 7 tablet and the Nintendo 3DS. Today I'm back 1 week later, and I'm going to give you all a fair, balanced, and objective review on both devices after I've had time to play with it for a week. So, let's get started. I'm going to start with the Nexus 7. Just so you all know, I didn't have it last time, but there she is in all her Nexus 7 glory. Sweet. Well, as I've said, and I've had a week to play with it. So far, it still kicks ass. It especially still kicks the ass of the Kindle Fire HD. The iPod, or not iPod, but the Apple iPad, well, for the most part, in my honest opinion, Nexus 7 still beats its ass, but in this regard, thanks to my friend Justin Hubbard, I did get time to look over the specifications on the iPad, and it turns out that there is a quad-core not CPU, but the video card, and I guess in that regard, the iPad would kick the Nexus's ass, but for the most part, I still think that the Nexus 7 is the best buy out there. I'm not, a raging Apple fanboy, good or bad, nor am I Amazon. Despite working there, this is not a personal plug for Amazon or trying to put Amazon down, because I did get the Nexus and I do like the Nexus. It is just my honest opinion. You can take of it what you will. But I will be fair and balanced in this regard, I guess, and give you all specifications to the devices in the video description. When I told you last time you could have Googled it, which, good, don't get me wrong, you can still Google it, but I'll make it easier and more fair and balanced for you guys. Anyway, got a couple fair warnings for you. Number one is that if you like using Wii remotes on your Android, like to play games or whatever, just as a fair warning, don't upgrade to Android 4.2, because Android 4.2, for whatever reason, Google had to steal a play from the big name Android's playbooks and effectively disable the Wii remote synchronization, or not even the little jury rigs will work right. So if you have Android 4.2 on your Nexus, downgrade it to the latest 4.1 branch, which at the time of this video is 4.1.2. I've tested the Wii Remote on a third-party application such as Wiimote Controller or Blues IME, as well as the in-app synchronization from such emulators like the .NU series and SNES 9X which are all emulators made by Robert Broglia, aka Rakashati, on the SNES 9X forum. I would still personally give those emulators a try, despite the .NU series, of course, costing no more than $2 to $5 per emulator. Still pretty good. My review on apps like Wiimote Controller and the in-game synchronization. Well, if you use a third-party app like Wiimote Controller, the advantage is that your Wii Remote will stay synced 100% of the time, regardless of where you're at in your Android. There's even YouTube videos out there demonstrating how to use it to control your GUI and navigate through it. But the downside is that every time you want to use apps such as Wiimote Controller, you're going to have to select the Wiimote Controller or Blues IME input within the application, like for the keyboard settings. You have to change to it every time, and then have to change back to the Android keyboard even though you're using the touchscreen interface. So I guess that's a downside there. If you're using synchronization, and in addition, you'll have to configure your controllers in-game per app, so you still have to take time to configure your controllers. But if you use in-game synchronizations like from the .NU series or SNES 9X, you should be able to, for the most part, be able to use your controller right from the start, though you could configure it if you have the nunchuck or the classic controller. The downside to this is that if your application loses focus, you're going to have to resync the controller, and you're going to have a bad time. Nah, just kidding. But seriously, it's not really a big deal, but I do wish that they would make it a little bit better where it would stay synced until you close the app, and not when you lose focus on the app. Like if you use like hand-sent SMS and it pops up a text, or if a system update nags you, or if you want to switch back and forth by Facebooking your buddies or whatever and then going back to your game. No big deal, but yeah. Anyway, speaking of the updates, of course if you're on Android, anything less than Android 4.2 will nag to update. So you will have to download an Android app called Photokill, Fotakill. Google for it. You have to use like Android Commander, Droid Explorer or something to put it in your system app folder. Set the permissions to 744, otherwise read, write, execute as a owner, and read only for the group and the users. Then of course reboot into recovery, clean the cache, reboot into Android as normal. You should get one last nag and you should be good to go from there. Also, just as a fair warning, if you want to get a longer cord and charge your Nexus with it, for the most part you're going to have a bad time. And in this regard, when I had that little 3-foot cord and I tried to charge my Nexus with it, charged pretty blazing fast. But I had a longer cord that I used to charge my Evo 3D. It took all freaking day to charge. And in this regard, it's mostly because USB specs call for very low wire, like 34 gauge I believe it is, mostly. Though they do, as of late, make longer cords, thanks to a couple guys on IRC, Erdon and Ninalod from Static Box. They linked me to a stronger USB cord, which is about 10 feet long. They've tested it on Nexuses, charged it and all that. It works. I will post a link in the video description for those that are interested. And of course the Nexus 7 still runs pretty smooth with its quad-core CPU. And of course they had to release the Nexus 10, which is just a 10-inch tablet, but the only thing is, it's got a dual-core processor, whereas the Nexus has a quad-core. So make of that what you will. I still think my Nexus is pretty freaking sweet. It's a 32 gig model, like I said before, so it's not like I'm going to run out of space anytime soon. I ran out and bought mine. What about you? Anyway, that's enough on the Nexus. Now we're going to move on to the 3DS. You didn't get a chance to see it last time, but here it is here. Playing a little bit of Super Mario 3D Land. And I had to go back and play that. Anyways, what can I say about the 3DS? Well, my 3DS came with Super Mario 3D Land pre-installed. So far, I've managed to pretty much play, beat, annihilate, and destroy the first 5 worlds. And in this regard, I got all 3 gold coins on all the levels, as well as gotten the gold Mario flag at the end of each level. And of course, still got several more left to go. Hopefully I'll have that game destroyed pretty shortly. But other than that, what can I say about the 3DS? Well, 3DS, it's still a pretty good little handheld. Obviously, like I said, it's bigger, better, etc. than the DS, and it's got 3D on it. The graphics, for the most part, are still an improvement over the DS. But unfortunately, in games like New Super Mario Bros. 2, the Mario and Luigi models still look like they did on the DS version. Whether or not this is intentional, because pretty much all Mario games ever since New Super Mario Bros. Had to keep referencing the old Mario games in one way or another. Whether or not this is intentional, I have no idea. So, I guess take of it what you will. But I still think for the most part the graphics are still an improvement over the predecessor. You can actually we can actually go back to your home menu and switch in and out of game for the first time ever on a cartridge-based console. Now, I'm sure you remember back in the day where you had to shut the game down in order to change the game card. Well, all you got to do on the 3DS is go back home, get into your home menu, close out of the software, pop out the card, pop in your new card, good to go. No data loss. Sweet. I do have to say that the home button, start, and select buttons, Okay, enough of that. Anyway, those three buttons in particular are kind of stiff. I have no idea why that is, but I guess it is how it is, I guess, so take it that what you will. Other than that, I have to say that overall the 3DS, pretty good. Also, like I said, I got several games with it. New Super Mario Bros. 2, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, Paper Mario, the sticker one, Theatrhythm Final Fantasy, and Kid Icarus Uprising. I managed to get a chance to play and destroy most of my way through all those games except the Paper Mario and Theatrhythm. So far, I'm going to review, the Ocarina of Time, New Super Mario 2, and the Kid Icarus Uprising real fast. Well, what can I say about New Super Mario Bros. 2? So far, is that it's just like I said before, for the most part, graphics-wise, it's just like New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Oh yeah, sound-wise as well. Except they changed some of the sound, to make it sound different than the Wii. Of course, now you're going around collecting coins, which is one of the main objectives in the game. Of course, despite, having like 30,000 coins or whatever right now at the time of this video, I've gone through all the levels so far, got all 3 stars, not all 3 stars, but all 3 gold coins in all the levels. Must say that just like the other 2 games, New Super Mario Bros. 2 is freaking sweet. Would recommend you go out and buy it one way or another. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, well, what can I say about that? Well, it's pretty much just a remake of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the N64 with prettier graphics and, of course, newer methods of play. Of course, I've gone through most of the game already. It's pretty good. Graphics are pretty sweet. Actually, like how the Master Sword actually looks somewhat more like a Master Sword this time, instead of some big wide thing like it did in the game. And it's, in the box art, it shows Link's big Master Sword, yet in the game it's this fat wide thing. It's like, really? What were they thinking? Oh well, at least it's been major improvements there. Of course, like with any other remake, some of the dialogue did get changed around and all that. Controls are kind of average, somewhat fluent. So far, I haven't been able to figure out how to make Link roll forward when you fall off a cliff at a height where you only take half a heart of damage. I'm not sure if it's the controls or if it's me, but if you have any ideas on how to do that, post in the video description, because I used to be able to do it all the time on the N64, but on 3DS I just can't do it anymore. Kid Icarus Uprising, well, what can I say about that? So far, I must say the controls are actually kind of, well, weird, because in this regard you aim with the touch screen, shoot with L, and fly around with the control stick. Takes a little bit of getting used to. Your hands will hurt a little bit, but overall, it's pretty good. Would recommend you go out and buy that too. Unfortunately, like I said, I didn't get a chance to play through at least some of Paper Mario or Theatrhythm, so I can't give my honest opinion on it right now, but from what I got to play on my 3DS so far, awesome. But definitely recommend buying all the games as well as the 2 devices I just talked about today. And that's all I have to say on the Nexus 7 and the 3DS. Oh yeah, if you're into rooting on the Nexus, I do want to mention one thing. There's a group of people that released a Nexus 7 toolkit. I will put a link in the video description. It's pretty much an AIO tool that allows you to root, install custom recovery, jailbreak the bootloader, and it can also downgrade the Android operating system to 4.1.2 if you were one of the unlucky ones that upgraded to 4.2. But just as a fair warning, when you do your Android backup, boot back into the operating system before you downgrade. This way you have a chance to copy over your Android backup to your computer, because if you end up downgrading the operating system and don't back everything up, You will lose everything on your user space. Do that first, as well as do that before you attempt to root or jailbreak the device, because you will still lose your user space either way. So that's it for real for what I had to say on the Nexus 7 and the 3DS. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, etc., or about my review, or if you just want to discuss it, hit me up in the comment section. If you want to see more videos from me, hit the subscribe button at the top of this video or any other video that I have. It's not hard. You will be automatically subscribed to any video I produce, and you will get to see it in your newsfeed. And as always, you can go over my old videos as you please. Feel free to rate this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. You can also share it with your friends. Then adventure link. We're going to close this video as always by quoting Eric the Car Guy by saying, "Be safe, have fun, and as always, stay dirty." See you all next time.